the Know Your Gear podcast.
Is it time for Gear of the Week? Why not? Let's do it.
And now it's time for Gear of the Week.
This is the Boss RT-2 rotary ensemble that I just bought. Oh, look, it even gives you the since August. It's gone down, but who cares? All right, I just want to know, this. All right, so I bought the pedal, and I said I would share with you guys what I think about it. I had the RT-20. If you're not familiar, Boss had a pedal called the RT-20, which is a highly desirable pedal. They don't make it anymore, so it's become a collector item. People are trying to get $400 for them. And this is essentially a Leslie speaker. Okay, so that's what it's simulating. So this is the Boss. This is obviously you guys remember Boss was doing a lot of this. It looks like two Boss pedals kind of stuck into one. And so what they did is they really shrunk it down and to the RT-2. So the main thing that's cool about the RT-2 is that it's half the size. Obviously at $200, it's half the price of what people are trying to get for the full size unit. And from what I can tell, it's absent a couple features, which I knew going in. The biggest one, which when you watch online reviews, the biggest one, the complaint is that they got rid of the mix control. So on the RT-20, the full size one, there's a control that lets amount of your guitar signal go through clean and then mix in how much of this Leslie sound you want, where the RT-2 it's fixed. Okay. And so I went through the manual. So if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I went through the manual. I watched a couple reviews. Everybody seems to agree. There was something I found on a Reddit that said, no, you can do it. And it kind of explained a little bit. It doesn't really matter. Here's why. Because I think it sounds good. And that's the takeaway. But I just want to let you guys know, for those that have been thinking about it going, I don't like it because it's missing that control. That's a pretty valuable control to have of blending how much of the effect you want. Please, just real quick, so we all know we're all on the same page here. There's a knob on it called effect. That's how much of the effect you hear. It's not how much. So in other words, it's not a mix control. That's not what I'm talking about. So in other words, yes, I understand you get more Leslie and less Leslie sound, but you don't get a mix of a clean signal with it. So I'm going to show it to you. And then I want to talk about something I've talked about in the past. I thought this was a great opportunity. I kind of did that. I'm going to show you guys a guitar. You've seen this guitar before. It's a Kiesel. No, it's a Framus. This is my Framus television. It's made in Germany, right? Look at that beautiful guitar. It's a semi-hollow, so it's hollow on this side, it's hollow on that side. It's super light, feels paper thin, because look at that, how thin that is. Maple caps, mahogany sides, because it's a solid piece of mahogany around the sides, because again, it's like carved, it's all carved top. And then it has two P90s. These are Seymour Duncan P90s. By the way, I think these are the best P90s. I love a lot of P90s, but I think Seymour Duncan somehow nails it. I don't know how. I just keep going through my guitars, and even though all I got are the expensive ones, and I got the ones I've made, and I got the ones that Dylan's made, and I made everybody's, I just kind of gravitate towards these. But, so you know, I guess I should say I just like them the most. But maybe it's just because they're in this guitar. Anyway, so mahogany neck, set neck, and then ebony fretboard, nickel frets, and ratio locking keys. So that's the guitar. We're going to go to this screen. Whoa, look at that. This is the pedal board we're using today, and you can see me. Look, right there. I'm in the corner now. And there we go. Let's take that off. And so we have the ensemble. So where do I have it? I have it next to my tremolo pedal, as you can see. I know you can see all this stuff, but sometimes I'm describing this because I don't know. Sometimes the Gear Guitar of the Week goes to the audio version podcast, and sometimes it doesn't. So I try to verbalize it all, and just in case we keep it, if it ends up being interesting. We're gonna play clean. I got a little reverb going here, and I'm gonna show you two things. So let me stand up. I'll get a little far sounding because I'm going to get away from the mic, but I'll bring the mic. Look at that. I'm going to bring the mic with me. Look at that, so you can still hear me. All right, so first we'll play clean. Then I will turn on the the Boss Ensemble Leslie speaker sound, and we'll hear that. And then what I did, because I thought this was pretty cool, is since I tell you guys all the time how much I love my HX1 line 6 pedal, I've set up a rotary sound on that I like as well too, and we'll A-B them, and it's not really, which one's better. It's just giving you the idea that, like I've said for many years, if you get something like the M5 or the HX1, and you're getting in your head that you need this $200, $300 pedal, there's 3 versions in the HX1. There's 3 versions of rotaries. This is the Vibe rotary, which is a little bit different, but actually is my favorite of the 3. So I'll just play. You guys will see what my feet are touching, and let's hear some sounds. One thing you saw is you have it on off, but also if you hold it for a second, start this. If you hold it for a second, it switches to go to a faster and slower. So just an option to let you know about. I'm gonna add some delay, and then we're gonna turn on the line 6. This is the Leslie. Back to the clean sound. Okay, so those are your sounds. I think the pedal sounds great. I think the line 6 also sounds great. I don't know about you guys. What else? One thing to mention that the line 6 HX1, all 3 rotary sounds do have a mix control. So you can mix in, which I did take advantage of. So if anyone thought the line 6 sounded better than the Boss, part of that could be because you're hearing a clean tone of the guitar, this guitar, with the Leslie on top, which is really what I really prefer. And even though I prefer that, though, I need to say, I think that Boss kind of really made that pedal sound great. This RT-2 sounds great. Sounds great. At first, I was like, this is going to suck. No mix control, but it just sounds good. And when I A-B'd them over and over again, I was like, I found things I liked about both. And also, because John's saying, hey, the Boss sounds brighter than the line 6 sounds darker. And that's something I actually spent way too much time today obsessing about. I obsessed for probably an hour and a half on just mixing these two to get them as close sounding-ish as possible. Now, something to note, that cool feature on the Boss where you hold down the pedal and it speeds up the Leslie. If you connect the expression pedal to the HX1, you can do that as well. So you have those. I'm actually really curious about the Flint. Buddy of mine was mentioning the Flint. He likes the Flint better than the Boss one. I just don't know. Do I need to go down that rabbit hole of how many Leslie pedals do I need? The reality is, the Boss, I told you guys, I was a huge fan of the RT-20. I had one for years, and like a lot of people, I think I got rid of it just because it's not something I use all the time, but it's a lot of real estate on your pedal board. It's huge. So it's like, having a big pedal that only does, that you use sometimes just didn't make sense. So this is, makes more sense to me. Somebody said in a comment that, hey, Phil, they said you got that Boss RT-2, and you didn't like the plug out pedal, but what if Boss made the RT-2 for $10 and you could have gotten the plug out pedal. Sure, but Boss didn't. They might, but they're not doing that now. And I'm not going to wait a year, to find out if they do it or not. And that again was my that was my whole point again. Is like I said, it's like the Boss RT-2 looked cool. I thought it was expensive, but after a while thinking about it, I liked the original. I thought it was worth giving it a try. I got a deal on one, so I did it. And that's really, like I said, I think I've said this before, you vote with your wallet. I voted for Boss. I voted with my money to buy the RT-2 over the plug out. Maybe one day the plug out will be something I'm interested in, but the only way the plug out had a shot of me separating myself from $250 is for Boss in some way to have convinced me in any way that it was as good. They didn't even have to beat it. It was their fight to win. They didn't have to make it better. Just if they could convince me as a customer that the plug out was as good as my HX1 that I showed you, useful wise for me, I would have just bought the Boss as a Boss fanboy. But like I said, I'm not taking the HX1 off my board, or I'm not taking it out of the what I need it for and losing options. So that's what I did. And then more importantly, this whole thing exercise was to just show you guys my decisions and why I did that. Because as I've said before, everybody has opinions. So do I. But it's really nice to see what they do. Like I tell you guys, I don't like to tell you guys what I think you should do. I'll tell you guys what I did. I'm not telling anyone to buy or not buy the plug out pedal. I'm just telling you what I did, and I just explained why. That's it. So and if you liked what I did and you want to do it too, great. And if you think I'm a moron and you don't, then don't do that. See, it's great. How easy is it? At least you got the opportunity to make the decision for yourself. So if you like this clip and you'd like to watch another one, you can click right here. And if you want to see the entire episode of the podcast, you can click right there. As always, thank you for your time and know your gear.